Welcome to Dallas, the home of the killers. Welcome to Dallas, sharks and gorillas. The girls, they going harder than Welcome to Dallas, we lost some legends. Welcome to Dallas, what hood you reppin', be careful. You know the
Hola, ¿cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás? Poofy Man podcast back again with another episode. And this one, we're just going to do a part 2 here on the Illuminati, whether it's real or fiction. So, if you watch the last one, essentially, I've concluded that the Illuminati is just something that average people like to call elite people who meet and don't invite them. But that goes without saying that doesn't wash away the possibility that there are secret societies that are, have their claws embedded in some of the roots of our society. And I'm gonna jump right into it. Don't mind my natty little holder here. I'm gonna have to refer to some of my notes as we do this, but I'm gonna talk a little bit about the Knights Templar and the Freemasons, because although we do know the Freemasons exist today, we really chalk them up as to, a bunch of elderly members of our community who like to put on cookouts and do community organizational stuff. But the reality is perhaps different. So what are these two groups? Are they one and the same? What's the history? Why does it matter? So the Knights Templar dates way back, right? And they were essentially tasked with the job of protecting and transporting ancient effigy and, items from Jerusalem. And they were also tasked with protecting travelers that were being, hijacked along trade routes into Asia and other places during the Crusades. So that goes on for a while, and as you can imagine, anybody who was, fortunate enough to be a knight and be a part of that group was probably exposed to a lot of interesting information that the average person at the time wouldn't know. And at some point, which is still debated, either these two groups existed alongside each other, that being the Freemasons and the Knights, or the Freemasons are simply a splinter cell from the original Templar Knights. So, while it's debated where and when they met, right, many believe, archaeologists and otherwise, believe that they met at Rosslyn Chapel in Edinburgh back in the 1700s during its original construction. I've actually been there, and it's really fucking cool. It's like really, really dope. But why they believe that is because there's iconography embedded in the construction itself that is is attributed specifically to these two separate groups. So it's possible that the Freemasons existed and the Knights existed and then met and intervened or convened as part of the construction team for this incredible chapel that was built in the mid-1700s. So why that's important, it's like, well, how does that connect to us? Well, it connects directly to us because 13 of 39 delegates that made up the original signing of the Continental Congress were known lodge members, were known Freemasons. It's possible, and I believe it's likely, that information that was shared during that original meeting or splintering of the original Knights at Rosslyn Chapel was passed from generation to generation, and eventually ended up, bumping up onto American shores, and was still lodged in the nomenclature of a small group of elites that founded the country. Two of the names at the very top are George Washington and Benjamin Franklin. Okay, so we go from there, and it's like, what is this information they have, and how is that important? So this is where it gets kind of crazy. So we don't understand exactly how some of these buildings left over as remnants from ancient civilizations are built, right? We have no idea. There's no way you can possibly understand that. And why that's important, why that mystery is important, and why we continue to strive to solve it is because hidden within the mathematics used to build these structures like the pyramids, and in a minute I'll give you another even better example. These structures is the information about our history as humans, the history of humanity, where we come from, where we've been, where we, all of these things. Because that level of mathematics that it takes, the architectural skill it would take to build some of these things, we look at today as a mystery. Like, holy shit, right? That some of our ancient predecessors had information that we don't have, access to potentially a technology we don't know about, and we don't know how to recreate. And so one example is Pumapunku in Peru. Pumapunku is, so much more amazing than the pyramids. It's unbelievable. First off, it's 14,000 years old. 14,000 years old. It's in Peru. It's in the highlands of Peru. And it's also the only site where we see this level of precision. There's literally blocks, and I'm going to put up pictures in this video. And you can take a look at it. This is 14,000 years old. Now, again, let's tie it back to this information I'm talking about. So masonry is essentially builders. They're builders. They used to, Masonic lodges. A lot of our famous buildings in Dallas or in any major city were built and essentially produced, by blueprint or otherwise, or even hands-on by Masons in the community today. And if you look at the buildings I'm talking about, like the Freemasons Lodge that I think has been kind of repurposed now, but it's over here off of 30, and it is, it's flush. Like it's not like blocks stacked on top of blocks. It's like one huge stone structure. It's really amazing. You go, how the fuck did they build that? Well, the answer is they're the only ones who know, because that information has been passed and kept under lock and key up until today. From way back when up until today. So the question is like, and they guard that information. Originally the information on how to build things was guarded because they were protecting themselves from being out-competed against by other builders back in ancient days, right? They wanted to be commissioned to build temples and build religious sites and things like that. And so families of architects, they guarded the information and skills needed, right, to build these things from other people so that they wouldn't have their techniques stolen. And so that's where this whole thing comes from. But where did they get their information? Like I said, Pumapunku is 14,000 years old. We don't know who built it. Is it possible that high-ranking Masons, 33-degree Masons, are aware of all of the details regarding Pumapunku? It's definitely possible. It's definitely possible, and I think that's actually the information that's guarded. You have to rise through a Masonic lodge over years and years and years. 33-degree Masons are, they're probably 60 to 80 years old. And they're very protective of it. They don't tell their wives, their kids, anything. And I think that information, at least partially, revolves around the actual mathematics and arithmetic and architectural design it takes to make these ancient structures. we can glean a lot from that. I mean, holy shit. Ancient Sumerians, they had advanced arithmetic and mathematics? They had power tools? Where did they get that from? It gets scary. It gets really scary. And, I mean, I'm not going to go ahead and say aliens. I mean, that's what a lot of people like to think, but I just think maybe we're underestimating the power of the human intellect. Maybe underestimating the power of the human intuition and ambition and stuff. Just natural ambition. But either way, that type of information could certainly be wielded against, a civilization's population and the people that run it. So, is it possible that these secret societies exist? Yeah, they do exist. Is it possible that they do have their hands in some dark shit? Most definitely. So anyways, drop your comments. Let me know what you think. This interests me a lot. I'm like, kind of low-key nerd on this. So anyways, hopefully that you guys learned something on that one. But till next time, it's Poofy Man. I'm out of here.
Welcome to Dallas, the home of the killers. Welcome to Dallas, sharks and gorillas. The girls, they going harder than. Welcome to Dallas, we love some legends. Welcome to Dallas, we're hood.